Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans for the channel over the next few months. So there's been a few new things come into the schedule in the last month during September. So I just wanted to talk about what I think my kind of upload schedule is going to be going forward, and also talk about my kind of reading focuses in the next few months. So I have done an October TBR video, which will be going up on Monday. But more generally, in this video, I wanted to talk about the kinds of things I'm wanting to be reading as we move, through the rest of 2022 and into 2023. So let's do the kind of schedule and channel stuff first. So originally, I was going to do like 2 videos a week when I first started the channel. And it's just kind of grown and grown. And I feel like I've still got a lot of different things to say. And I enjoy having a fixed schedule for the videos I upload because it makes it easier for me to think about what I'm going to be doing. And hopefully it makes it easier for you as viewers as well. Because you know that on a certain day you're likely to get a certain sort of video from me, and if you like that sort of video you might want to watch it. If you don't like that sort of video, don't watch it. It's cool. But hopefully it gives you over the course of the week a bit of variety, so there's at least one video that you'll enjoy. So what is that schedule then? So Mondays and Fridays are what I call potluck days, in that there are a variety of different videos that could go up on those days. And those are things like TBR videos or monthly wrap-up videos, book hauls, you'll get Abominable Book Club unboxings, and the slot that I previously called Small Press Fridays, I'm now calling Small Press Spotlight, because that means I can put it up on a Monday as well. So you'll get those kinds of videos, and also things like Kindle videos. So there's a new Kindle video I'm working on, which will be going up on a Monday or Friday fairly soon, and also like top 10 videos and that kind of thing. So those kinds of things will always be on a Monday or a Friday. So on the other days then, Tuesdays, as you'll know, I do tags, and I really enjoy doing tags. So I did have a comment on my most recent tag from someone who sounded a bit fed up with all of the tags that get done on BookTube. And I think my opinion on that is, if you don't, as I've said, I try and put up something every day, so there's a bit of variety on the channel. So if you don't like tag videos, just don't watch them. But I think they're fun. They're a really good way of engaging with the rest of the BookTube community. And they're also quite often an interesting way about thinking about books in a slightly different way. So I think tags definitely have their place. And I really enjoy doing them. Okay, so moving on to Wednesdays then. So Wednesdays are the most complicated day because there are 3 different videos that could go up on a Wednesday. But I'm trying to make it fairly straightforward in terms of having a kind of set schedule for those Wednesday videos. So the first Wednesday of every month will be an Ask Criminolly, where you can ask any questions you want in the comments, and I will respond to them. The second Wednesday of every month will be a classic. So in my voyage to read the 12 classics that Michael K. Vaughan talked about in a recent video of his, I will do the reviews of those classics on the second Wednesday of the month. Third Wednesday of the month, we're back to Criminolly, and the fourth Wednesday of the month will be a Carry On Screaming. So if you've not seen that, the first one of those went up Wednesday just gone. So this is a new series where I'm talking about British horror novels starting in 1973 and doing a year each month. So each episode I'll talk about a different year. Done 1973, so coming up 1974, and I pick a British horror novel from that year that I think is either representative of the kind of state of British horror fiction at the time, or is just an interesting book, and I'll do a review on those. Now those videos are accompanied by a post on my website. So for every of those Carry On Screaming videos that I do, you'll also find a post on my website which has got the full review and also information about that year. So what happened in that year in Britain, kind of in the news and things like that, but also in the horror genre generally, what were the big horror novels of that year, what both British and internationally, what were the big horror movies of that year. So just giving a bit more context to things. So my website, easy to remember, it's criminolly criminolly.com. So go and check it out, and you'll find all sorts of reviews. Going back, I've had that site for a couple of years, so there's tons of text reviews of crime and horror books on there. And as I say, each month I will be posting a Carry On Screaming post as well, with a bit more richness, hopefully, than I've been able to get across in the video. And in a similar vein, from now on, all the books I review on a Thursday, so moving on to Thursday. So Thursday is my review slot, where I will review a crime or horror book each week. All of those reviews, you will find a review on criminolly.com as well, which will have more details about the books, so things like the ISBN and that kind of thing, and page counts and all that kind of information, which could be quite useful to have, and trigger warnings as well. So I'm conscious that some people, the books I talk about often feature triggering content, and some people need to know about that stuff up front, because they don't want to read books that are going to impact their mental state negatively. So I will be including trigger warnings going forward on criminolly.com as well, for all the books I review. So if you want more information on any book from now on that turns up on a Thursday, check it out on criminolly.com. Going back quickly to Wednesdays then, so if there's 5 Wednesdays in the month, the 5th Wednesday will be another Ask Criminolly video. So hopefully that's kind of fairly straightforward for the Wednesdays, and as I say, Thursdays a standard review, and then Fridays we've talked about, so that's potluck. Saturdays will be my weekly wrap up, so just me talking about what I've read in that week, what I think I'm going to be reading the week ahead, what's been going on the channel, and then Sundays will be Sunday Bollocks. So if you haven't seen a Sunday Bollocks video, it's basically me talking about some kind of bookish subject for 10 or 15 minutes usually. Just something that's caught my eye that week that I found interesting, I want to talk about and start a bit of a conversation about. So those videos I really enjoy doing. As I said before, I'm amazed that I've managed to keep them going as long as I have, but I do somehow seem to find something that I want to talk about every week. That said, I still haven't figured out what I'm talking about for tomorrow's, so we shall see. At some point I'm sure I'll run out of steam on those, but for now we'll continue with them. So yeah, that's kind of what the channel is going to look like going forward. So hopefully that, as I say, that gives everyone at least one video a week that they'll find interesting, and it gives you a routine so you know what's going to be going up on a certain day. Aside from that, obviously, I'm also experimenting with shorts a bit at the moment. So I've been doing shorts of Venus, my cat, where I ask Venus questions. And again, like Ask Criminolly, if you want to ask Venus a question, put it in the comments on one of the Venus videos. So yeah, I ask Venus for her opinions on different bookish topics, and she gives a response. So yeah, watch that. If you haven't watched one of those yet, check them out and see what you think. And then I've also been posting watch videos. So I'm as well as being a book nerd, I'm a bit of a watch nerd. So I've been posting my daily watch on the channel as well. So again, that may be something that you're not at all interested in at all, which is fine, but it's something I'm into, so I thought it would be a fun place to share my watches too. So in terms of reading then, and my reading over the next few months, I've been reflecting recently on the fact that there are some big gaps in my knowledge of kind of crime and horror fiction. So those are the genres I love. Those are the genres I talk about a lot on the channel. But I've only got so much time to read stuff. And there are some fantastic and incredibly well respected crime and horror authors who I've read. I've either not read at all, or I've only read a couple of books by. So I thought I would focus, and this certainly isn't going to take up all of my reading, but I want to start trying to dig into those kind of classics of the genres a bit more. So I'm talking here about authors like Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett, both of whom I read books by in September, Chester Himes, Ross MacDonald, P.D. James, John le Carré. So le Carré kind of tangential slightly to crime, but a really important author of popular fiction. Also people like Patricia Highsmith, Dennis Lehane. So there's a ton of authors out there who, as I say, I've only read one or two of their books, or not read them at all. So I want to start trying to prioritise reading more of those kinds of books, just to round out my knowledge of the crime genre. And similarly for horror, People like Charles M. Grant. I don't think I've read any books by Charles M. Grant, so I really want to read some stuff by him. Robert McCammon, I've read a fair few books by, but there are lots and lots I haven't read. And I think he's fantastic based on what I have read by him. Similarly with Ramsey Campbell, I've read probably 4 or 5 Ramsey Campbell books, but there are loads more out there for me to read. And Poppy Z. Bright, I haven't read at all, so definitely need to read some Poppy Z. Bright. So that's one of the things I'm going to be focusing a bit more on in terms of my reading. So you'll probably see some of those books crop up on the channel. And then also, obviously, I'm continuing my kind of reading of the 12 classics that Michael K. Vaughan recommended in his classics video a little while ago. So I've read Moby Dick, and we'll be moving on to some Sherlock Holmes and some Homer. So two very different things, but yeah, looking forward to both of those. And I'll continue doing that, and we'll be doing at least one classics review every month as well. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I will be focusing on in terms of my reading. And as I said with the channel, a similar schedule to probably what you're used to, but with the added, I don't know if you'll consider it a bonus or not, but the added element of written reviews on my website that will give a bit more detail about the books. So as always, thanks very much for watching. Do let me know if there's any kind of classic crime and horror authors that I didn't name there that you think I should be checking out and reading. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. I've just noticed while editing this video that I forgot to say cheerio at the end of it. So, cheerio.